Welcome YouTube, Tacticat here. So today I'll be doing a review of my Ruger LC9 pistol. It's been my concealed carry pistol for the last several years, so I feel fairly confident that I can give you a very accurate review that will let you know the pros and cons of the weapon. Welcome back YouTube. Let's go over the features of the gun. Before we get started, we got an empty magazine, empty chamber on the pistol. You have your front adjustable sight. You have a loaded chamber indicator. I believe the state of Massachusetts was the one that required it. Don't quote me on that. You also have a rear adjustable sight. You can adjust it with a tool, we'll call it that. How's that? You also have a locking mechanism if you have the key for it. You can lock the firearm so it doesn't fire. Flipping it over, you have your external safety, also a slide lock. And then you have stippling on all four sides and an ambidextrous laser on the pistol. A lot of people that I have seen on YouTube weren't a huge fan of this gun. I think a lot of those people purchased this gun intending it for the wrong use. I view this gun as a low-cost, lightweight, slim option for either concealed carry, inside the waistband, throw it in your bag as in a go bag type of deal. It's a rugged little pistol. However, in doing this review, I want to give you a accurate representation of how it stacks up. So how does it stack up against the competitors on the market? I chose 4 pistols, kind of at random, to compare it to. The pistols that I chose based on similar purpose, cost, as well as weight. So I chose the Kahr CW9, the Kel-Tec PF9, the Smith & Wesson Shield, and the Glock 43. I don't know a ton about the Glock 43, but it's one of the newer guns on the market, so I put it in there as well. First of all, how does this gun stack up on the weight side? This gun, unloaded, weighs just over 17.5, or just over 17 ounces, excuse me. The Kahr and the Kel-Tec weigh 14 and 15 ounces roughly a piece. The Shield and the Glock weigh 20 ounces unloaded and 16 ounces. 16 and a half, excuse me, roughly. So this is on the heavier side of concealed handgun pistols, single stack framed guns. As for price, this one currently is listed at $350 on gunbroker.com. All the guns, except for the Glock, which is a little more, are within $30 of that price range. They're all very similar. As for width, it's under an inch. I believe I read it was 0.9, and they're all very similar to that. So really, there's not a whole lot of difference on the size of the size as well as the width. The weight, you get some variance there. Let's see. How does this thing concealed carry? I think that it's very comfortable concealed carry. I carried it for 2 or 3 years now, inside the waistband holster. You could also do a belly band or an ankle holster. I think that it's comfortable to carry. It doesn't print badly. I didn't have any trouble at all printing. I'm probably a bigger guy, 6 foot 210, but now I didn't have any trouble carrying this. How does it shoot? I felt that it's a very accurate pistol. It was fun to shoot. It's reliable. It does take a little bit of getting used to. It probably took me 2 or 3 mags to try to kind of get into figuring how the trigger works as well as the sights. Going down the list here, the laser. Is it useful? Does it help? I don't think so. For one, this is a concealed carry piece, which in my opinion, you're not going to be doing a lot of long range shooting with this thing, so the sights are adequate. Once you get past the distance where a laser might be useful, you can't see the laser in the day. So there's that. I don't think the laser is overly bright. if you're maybe 10 feet away, that's like 4 or 5 yards. You know, then yeah, you can probably see it. Once you get much further out than that, you're not going to be able to see the laser. So I don't think it's useful, and I don't think it really helps. The recoil on this gun, very manageable, actually. I think that it's not difficult at all to get the second shot off once you have the first one going. It sits well in your hand, I find. I have slightly larger hands, though, and so I like the slim frame of the gun. Some people that I've seen, they like to put the grips on it to make it a little fatter, but I like a thin gun, so I find that it fits very well in my hand. The sights. You know, I'm not a huge fan of the sights. I think that both the Shield and the car have better sights, or those are the two that I've shot recently. I'm gonna guess probably all the guns on this list had better sights. I'm just not a very big fan of them. They're adequate and they work, and you can still hit with them, but I'd rather have a night sight on here. What do I like about this pistol? I like that it is slim framed. It is a low cost pistol, but they didn't really sacrifice quality of the gun to get this. It's going to go bang every time you pull the trigger. I like that the magazine drops straight out of the pistol. That's something that I think is important in a self-defense handgun. What are the things that I don't really like about the gun? Now, the one that you always hear is people don't like the trigger. They say it's too stiff or it's too long, and I'll tell you this. It is somewhat stiff and it is very long. So I measured the trigger on this gun. I found it to be roughly 6 to 6.5 pounds. I also measured the car and the Kel-Tec. The car I found to be 6.5 pounds. The Kel-Tec was 5 to 5.5. I didn't have access to Shield or Glock, but I did some research, and I found the Shield was 9 and the Glock was 8, according to some people online, so take it for what it's worth. What I will say, though, is this pistol is a very long trigger. So if you'll see here, right there. Now, if you reset the gun, you think the gun will reset, but it's not. That's the reset. So that is what people don't like. The trigger is not stiff compared to a double action. I mean, the gun is a double action only pistol. So taking that into account, that it's 6 to 6.5 pounds, it's not bad. When I'm firing it, I find that I stage the pistol. I'll pull it back to here, regain my sight, and then finish pulling the trigger, and I can hit accurately that way. The other thing that I don't like, and this is more of a personal preference for me, I don't like that it's a slide lock. I would prefer a slide release on the gun. The difference being a slide lock, you can't sweep with your thumb. See, a slide sweep you can. It doesn't make a huge amount of difference, except for the fact, just the way that you train or you practice. When you're shooting and you run dry or you run empty, you'll drop your mag, you'll insert your fresh mag, and then you'll reach your hand over and push. Normally you'd push the gun forward and then bring your hand back up and continue firing. I think that simply adds an extra step. I would rather just sweep it down and bring my hand back up. But that's more of a personal preference thing. The biggest thing that I think I'm not a huge fan of, and some people may not find this to be a big issue, it only comes with one magazine. Now, one of the things that this gun was a major selling point, I felt, is that it's low cost. I bought this for 3 or 4 years ago, and it was roughly $350. I think I may have paid right around that. I don't remember exactly. But the most common thing to happen with your magazine during a firefight is that you have a magazine failure, or you accidentally hit the mag release. And, if you were to have a magazine failure, you would drop your mag, you would insert your fresh one, rack your gun, and continue going. Same thing if you accidentally hit the release and you drop the mag out. You simply reach around, get your fresh mag, put it in, and continue going, rather than look for the old magazine. I went and bought there goes the mag. I went and bought another magazine for this pistol. Cost me roughly $36 to $42. The price point being that it's so low, or the price point being that around $350, once you add another, say, $40, and there's no sales tax here in Oregon, so move it on up for whatever your sales tax is in your state, suddenly you begin moving into territory of, oh man, you know, maybe it's better just to look at a higher cost pistol that's going to come with everything you want. It's going to have the release. It's going to have the 2 magazines. It's going to have the lighter trigger or the shorter trigger pull on it. And if you want 2 or 3 magazines spare, then you're going to be looking at a significant amount of money. The last thing is that it has a trigger disconnect. You can't pull the trigger if there's no mag in the gun. I think that's just a safety feature that's not really necessary. And I would like to see it taken off. And I'll go over why I don't have it taken off later in another video. But to give a summary of this pistol, if you are looking for a concealed carry type of gun that is lightweight, slim, easy to shoot, a very rugged pistol, you can see that there's quite a bit of wear on the top of this gun, because I carry it in a holster I do carry it daily. Then this is an excellent choice. Yes, you are going to have to get used to the trigger on it, and there's going to be some quirks with it. But I think for the money that you're paying for this gun, this is an excellent pistol if you're looking for that external safety. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, subscribe. We'll be doing more reviews on other guns. Thank you and have a great night.